Hi guys, welcome to a new episode with me, Coach Kitri at No I Golf here at Golf Tech Singapore. I wanted to have a follow up on my last video going over why do you duff the ball to now answering the question why do you top the ball. We're going to start off by first understanding at impact what exactly topping does and how it occurs. Then also going over some examples of why maybe that might be happening in your game and figuring out ways to get rid of it so then the next time you play on the golf course you don't be topping the ball. Now bear with me, as you can see I'm more of a golfer than an artist, so from my terrible drawing over here, basic understanding of topping is when you realize that you connect to the ball at impact hitting some other part of the club onto the ball. Essentially, it would be the bottom part or closer to the hosel, which can also lead to a shank, or even towards closer to the toe. But pretty much it's like the ball is not fully contacted off the face and is mainly contacted from the bottom of the club. What happens when you top the ball? It is a terrible sensation, and basically the ball just kind of gets hit and moves like maybe 5, 10, 20 feet in front of you, kind of bounces off the position it was in, and looks something like this. Yeah, that felt terrible. So, again, topping is essentially contacting the ball from this part of the club, somewhere around here, rather than anywhere in the sweet spot on the face of the club. So, why would that really happen? And initially, I find that, especially with beginners who are trying to get the ball up into the air, they're thinking to themselves that they want to pick it up. So, when they try picking the ball up into the air, they either do hit it behind on the ground, but what they do is that they expose the bottom end of the club towards the ball. And if done incorrectly, well, it will always be done incorrectly, a top happens. Another reason why a lot of people top the ball is when they're trying to not duff it, but using a bad method of going about hitting the ball. So essentially, if I am going to early release my club and I know that I sometimes maybe hit behind the ball, what I will try to do is that I will try to raise myself or rise myself up so then I'll be able to at least get it back to the ball rather than hitting the ground. But unfortunately, more often than not, that leads to something like this. And another reason why somebody will be topping the ball is actually one of two things. At the point of impact, they are either way too behind and then they release the club and trying to get back to the ball and instead does this, or they are way too in front of the ball and end up doing something like this. Yeah, that was horrible. So, how do we solve topping the ball? It starts with understanding low point, and as if you've seen my other videos, I went through explaining what low point is all about. Just to recap, it is the point in front of the ball, the lowest point in respect to you, in relation to your lead shoulder, and the point that you want to contact after hitting the ball. So, and the goal is to do what? Is to hit the ball first and the ground second. A great way that I get my beginners to actually understand that is to think to themselves that rather than trying to hit the ball up into the air, is to have the thought of maybe trying to hit the ball into the ground, as if you're trying to really squeeze the ball into the ground. That way, we can develop the sensation of letting the club go downwards towards the ball, try to create the compression. A drill that I like to also show to my students is and to develop the sense of what impact should feel like and minimize topping the ball is to actually have the ball somewhere in the back here in respect to your posture and feel like you're just dragging it across the ground. So then that way, this sweeping, dragging motion is developed, and rather than trying to pick it up or pop it up and top the ball. Something like this. Another great way of developing the sensation to ensure that you can hit the ball square on the face rather than from the bottom of the club is to swing at the ball slightly, somewhat like a pendulum, going up, down, up, down, up, down. And from here, be able to realize that there was no manipulation required in terms of your wrists, in terms of your release, and just getting the club back down to the ball. Now, all these drills that I'm explaining to you are to develop the sensation, to develop the feel of what correct impact should feel like. It is going to take time, it takes patience, but definitely you'll be able to get there. Well, guys, thank you for joining me again. If you liked this video, please like and subscribe. That way you'll be able to see more videos as I release them. And I understand that there are definitely other ways of and reasons why somebody may top the ball. And if you had any questions, please comment on the group below. So then that way I'll be able to explain to you or even show you maybe other ways of ensuring that you stop topping the ball.